Hey, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you may be in this beautiful planet of ours. This is Marc Lanehart, the Intuitive Prospector, here for another Monday morning version of Metaphysical Mocha Mondays with Marc here on the Om Times Institute page. How's everybody doing this morning? Go ahead and just give me a like, give me a heart, let me know how you're feeling. Hopefully you're feeling a little bit more energized. What's going on in the world around us. I'm here in Seattle, Washington, and even though it's a little cloudy and rainy, I'm excited because spring is right around the corner. The Equinox is right around the corner, but so is Mercury Retrograde, which is right around the corner. So if you guys don't mind, please do me a big favor and subscribe to the live video feed. You can do the turn on button for Facebook Live, and that lets you know when I go live every Monday morning at 8 a.m. Pacific, 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. We're in our second season of Metaphysical Mocha Mondays. Started this about a year ago, and the whole point of doing these episodes, they're 30 minutes, is just to get your week started right. It's to get you inspired. It's to get you thinking bigger, seeing maybe a bigger perspective, to bring people together in community, what I like to say a soul tribe or spiritual community, and most importantly to help you do a little spiritual prospecting for your own spiritual goal. So if you want to learn more about the work that I'm doing either through the Om Times Institute, Om Times Radio, my spiritual practice here in Seattle, you can visit me at marclanehart.com. You can internet search the Intuitive Prospector. I would love to help you in the ways of whether it's psychic, mediumship, spiritual healing, spiritual mentoring, spiritual teaching. But we have a lot of fun. So one of the requirements for hanging out with me on this lovely Monday morning is to grab your cup of coffee, grab your cup of tea. I got my little new Star Wars cup here this morning. And let me know where you're from. Go ahead and post a comment. I won't be responding directly to the comments here on this platform. But if you do want to join me over on my Intuitive Prospector page, I'm going to go ahead and put that link in right now for you. In the comment section, we have the Q&A after show, which is directly after this show. It's at 8:30 a.m. Pacific Standard Time, 11:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. And the link is there, called the Intuitive Prospector page. Make sure to like it. Make sure to subscribe to it so you can get all of the information and all the spiritual awesomeness that we're doing. And that's where I will directly have a conversation with you. I can pull a card, do a reading. You can ask me a question. It could be psychic. It could be medium. You can just stop in and say hi and have a spiritual chat. We have a lot of great people from all around the world that do communicate with one another, and that's the other thing that I'm trying to build is a spiritual community where people can seek out guidance and friendship and knowledge and just feel in a place on social media that they feel secure and feel peace, because social media, as you guys will know, can get pretty crazy, with whether it's bots, internet bots that, can drive stuff. You're seeing the news with Facebook, all the stuff that they're going through. So, but my intent and my focus is to create a spiritual community where we can have conscious, common sense conversation, make a change in ourselves, make a change in our world. And that's no different than this morning, because today's topic is something that came up during my meditation, something I was writing about. And Eleanor Roosevelt talked about this. She talked about doing something scary every single day of your life, because what that does is it changes your comfort zones. And she wasn't talking about, doing something scary like, well, I guess you could do something extreme if you wanted to. If you wanted to do some zip lining, if you wanted to, do some skydiving, I guess you could do that every day. That's pretty scary for some. But what she was talking about comfort zones. And she's not the first to say try something scary every day. But I just felt like it was a reminder that we needed in today, especially today, because today is so, today's society is so chaotic and busy and go. And I'm going to give you some tips to help you just kind of slow down and think about some things that will help you to appreciate the day that you have ahead of you. Some of you that are watching, because I know I have some spiritual prospectors that are over across the pond, the Atlantic Ocean, in England and Europe, and a few down under. So I know that it's already heading into evening for you, so your day is already gone, or you're moving into tomorrow. But it's a reminder to find the magic in the moment, to be present in your moment, and to appreciate the life that you have, and look for the blessings that you do have, and the things that we take for granted. And you can do that by doing some scary things in a day. So I'll give you some things that you can practice for that. That's what today's message is. But again, it's stepping out of the comfort zone. That's really the main topic of today, is stepping outside the comfort zone and doing things that may scare you every day. It doesn't have to be in an extreme way, just in a way that helps you feel alive and appreciate and have an attitude for gratitude for your life. So again, if you want to work with me, please visit me at marcleonhart.com. You can check out my classes here on the Om Times Institute page. Amazing instructors, amazing classes, metaphysical, psychic, healing, you name it. A lot of fun. You can also catch me every Wisdom Wednesday over on Inspired Living Radio. That's our internet show. We're in our third season now. We have some fantastic guests coming up, and that airs every Wednesday at 12 p.m. Pacific, 3 p.m. Eastern. Live internet show. You can call in. You can ask questions on our Facebook page, which is Inspired Living Radio. But just want to say good morning to all of you. Going to give you some things to help you with maybe some examples of doing something that scares you every day. And also, happy spring to you. We're a day early, but tomorrow is spring. And so I want you to pay attention to the seasons and cycles of how you're feeling, how the people are around you, your friends, your family. As a spiritual teacher, as a spiritual coach, I always remind people to pay attention to your external environment, your external stimuli, because that can also resonate and vibrate back to you as a being, as a spiritual being, as a physical, emotional, mental, and a spiritual person. So please subscribe to the video if you like what we're doing here. Please share out to different pages for people that might get something out of this, because the show is all about inspiration, guidance, and just getting you thinking bigger than yourself. So what are some things that you can do that every day that scares you? Well, one of the big things, science has proven, they've done several studies in science, that doing something that scares you will make you more productive. So that can help by doing something that you're not used to, stepping out of your comfort zone. It can prepare you for new and unexpected changes. And that's the thing with life. Life is going to change regardless of what we want. I always teach that life is an acronym, learn it from experience, and life is not going to always give us what we're asking for. So we have to learn to surf the waves of change and enjoy those waves that come at us, and be a big wave surfer so we can get on those waves and enjoy them versus being pounded by them. So science shows when you step outside of your comfort zone that you can actually open yourself up to more experiences, a broader perception. One of the things that I teach on my online spiritual development group is get comfortable with being uncomfortable, because sometimes that's where your intuition, your awareness can work best, is when you're in that comfort zone. And we're creatures of habit. We like our comfort zones because we like to keep stress down, we like to keep worry down, because we also create that within our mindset, right? So we create environments where we try to keep that stuff down, myself included. But one of the things that you can do, I'm going to give you 5 things this morning to work with to help you in doing something scary every day. The first one is have a conversation with a stranger. I always tell people, even just smile at a stranger. Everybody has a different story to tell. You don't know what a person's going through in a day. So by just simply smiling at somebody and saying good morning, I try to do this when I go to the gym and work out in the morning, just saying good morning to people, smile, regardless of if they're having a bad day. Sometimes that can just be very beneficial. Plus it makes me feel better by doing that. But at the same time, have a conversation with the stranger. It was interesting when I was looking talking about this morning's topic. One of the quotes that came up was actually from the actress Shirley MacLaine, and she talked about that fear. A lot of times us as humans create our own fear, which for me, fear is false evidence appearing real. There is real fear in life, but we create a lot of our own fear. And she talks about that fear makes strangers of people who would otherwise be friends. And that was Shirley MacLaine that said that. So I thought that was interesting. So the first thing you can do is strike up a conversation with a stranger. You might develop a new friendship. You might develop a new network. And if it's something that if you're in the habit of not saying something to somebody, then change that up, because that can be kind of scary for some of you. Some of you may be introverted and don't want to talk with people. We all have our times of being introverted and extroverted. I know when I'm on the bus at 5:30 in the morning, everybody is into their phones. Nobody looks at nobody anymore. It's very interesting as an observer to see, but I still try to smile. I still try to say good morning, but there are mornings where, I don't want to say good morning because it's early and I'm tired and I'm still waking up. But that's just one of the things that you can do that can be a little scary for you. But again, the reason that we're trying to do something scary every day in our life is because we want to prepare ourselves for new and unexpected changes. We want to push our boundaries. We want to harness our creative environment and our creative being, but also our expression, especially if some of you are very expressive. This might be a way to help you. And science shows that when you are out of your comfort zone, you can be more creative, more productive, more focused. And, again, that's something that Eleanor Roosevelt talked about, was doing something scary every day. So the second thing you can do is ask for help. A lot of people don't ask for help because they're worried that somebody will say no. But a lot of times I found that when people ask for help, people are more than willing to jump in and help if they can. But if you do that, the other side of the coin is to then give your support to somebody that may ask for your help, and give support to others, give help to others if you're asking for help as well. But strike up a conversation with a perfect stranger, ask for help when needed. Try something new. This week, I'd challenge you until we're back, I'll be back next Monday with a new topic. But this week, I would challenge you. Try something new. It could be a food. Trying different foods. I saw something about Nicole Kidman eating bugs, and bugs have been around for years. People have been eating bugs as a high source of protein for years in different cultures around the world. I think it's just finally taking hold here in the United States. But try something. I myself try to do this. I get into the habit of eating the same foods, but at the same time, I'm always open to try something new. That could be foods, that could be places, that could be experiences. I like to, remind people that it's important at the end of the day to collect memories, not things, because we can't take the things with us when we, enter back into the spiritual world or whatever your belief system is. Whenever we leave the physical flesh suit, as I like to call it, and move into a higher energy, a higher consciousness, what I refer to as the spirit world as a spiritualist. But it's whatever your belief system is, and some of you may believe that you don't go anywhere. But the point is, you can't take any of it with you. It doesn't get to go with you on the next journey, whatever that journey is for you. So try something new. And that leads me to the next thing. Give something significant away. We donate a lot of our stuff. I have so much stuff that I don't need. We donate to the Goodwill all the time. We donate to local charities all the time. But give something significant away, because we do get attached to our possessions. And for me, as a big Star Wars fan, as a big Star Wars nerd, some of you know this, the Jedi always talked about not being attached to anything, not having possessions, because a lot of times when we do get attached to something, whether that's stuff or people or things, the things that we own end up owning us. And so it's important to pay attention to that. But try giving something significant away. See if that helps you feel a little bit uncomfortable, like you don't want to give this away, but give it a go. See how that plays out for you. And then the fifth thing, just giving you 5 things this morning, because we only have a half hour, so this show goes by really quick, is to disconnect from your gadgets. This is a big one. I always remind people, take the time to disconnect so that you can make time to reconnect, either with yourself, with your surrounding environment. You can do that by getting out to nature. This backdrop only serves as a reminder for all of you, is our first original home is nature, and to get back into nature. Nature's our greatest teacher. Nature is our greatest healer. Nature's our greatest reminder that nature gets it done in its own time, and it always just seems to complete its process. So try disconnecting from your gadgets. myself included. My wife and I had a conversation this morning about being just conscious of how much we look at our gadgets, our iPads, our iPhones, our droids, our smartphones, and I'm trying to get better at doing that as far as disconnecting and not doing so much on social media. So it really can be addictive, so imagine me as a middle-aged adult being addicted, and what the younger generations behind us are growing up with this. So this is a standard, this is a way of living for them, this is normal to them. For those of us that are middle-aged or older, we watch the whole technology of the smartphone and computers move in, and we evolved with the changes that came with that. So just to recap, today's topic is doing something every day that scares you. And what I mean by scares you is stepping outside of your comfort zone, doing something that reminds you that you are alive, that all you have is today. You can't do anything about yesterday, and there's no guarantees for tomorrow. So the magic is in the moment, and being in the present moment. So one of the 5 things that you can do is have a conversation with a stranger, smile at a stranger, strike up a conversation, see where that conversation takes you. You may feel very uncomfortable when you start, and there are some interesting people out in the world, especially here in Seattle when I'm traveling downtown. So pick and choose wisely with the people you want to, start a conversation with, I guess is what I'm saying. Ask for help. If you need help, ask for help. But be prepared to offer your support to somebody else if they're helping you. Pay it forward, in other words. Help other people, because that's what community is all about. This is what society is all about, and we only move forward if we all work together, regardless of religious, political affiliations. We only move forward together. We don't move forward apart and individual. There is strength in numbers. Try something new. Try a new food. Try a new spice. Try a new coffee. It's Metaphysical Mocha Mondays. Try a new coffee, something that you haven't tried from a different part of the world. You may love it, you may hate it, but you don't know until you try. So I guess that would go in against what Yoda would say: do or do not, there is no try. But in this case, try many things. Try visiting new places, getting an understanding of how different cultures see the world and how they fit in wherever they're at. I've learned a lot by traveling. Traveling does transform you. Try different experiences. Skydiving, scuba diving, zip lining. I personally love scuba diving because when I drop down into the ocean, it's literally entering into a terrestrial world, and I do feel that I'm in a different world. It really is a different world, different environment. You're breathing underwater. Eventually, in the future, we'll have that experience of going to space. You might be able to be certified going into space in about 25 years, 50 years from now. That'll be a common way of having experiences, is moving into space. So for the younger generations that are watching, either live or you can catch all of these episodes over on my YouTube library, which I'll put a link if you want to subscribe to my YouTube library. It's got all of my shows of Inspired Living Radio, all my Metaphysical Mochas, and then some of my diving videos, soul adventure videos, and just some of my favorite videos. So it's a lot of fun. So if you want to subscribe to my YouTube library, please do so. Just look for The Intuitive Prospector or Marc Lanehardt under YouTube, and love to have you be a subscriber or a spiritual prospector. So what I like to do, again, have a conversation with a stranger, ask for help, try something new, give something that's significant away. I like to give books away. When I have a book, I get a lot of books being on the radio. A lot of people send me books, or guests. But I like to then pay that forward and give books to people either at my workshops. I have a basket of books that people, if they win, if we do a small competition or something, they can reach in and grab a book that they want. So I do that with books. I think books are, having knowledge and learning history is important. So I like to pay that forward whenever I can. And then last but not least, disconnecting from your gadgets. Technology has really gotten people to disconnect from each other. They've done studies where we're more connected now than ever in the history of mankind, as far as recorded history, based on our technology, but we're more disconnected as a species than we have ever been. So that's something to think about. So those are just 5 points to help you with your journey this week. Do something that scares you every day. It helps you get out of your comfort zone. It helps you feel alive. And when you're either paying it forward, giving stuff away, asking for help, having a conversation with somebody, this can be a paradigm shift for you, and it can really change your life. This morning I even talked about that small things, if you do small things, they can make big differences in your life. And that's the mantra for this week is do small things, they can make big differences in your life. So I want to give you your crystal for the week. If anybody's so kind to just spell this or put a link to this crystal. I'm not sure if I'm saying it right. It's a crystal based on creativity. It's called Chrysoberyl. So Chrysoberyl. I'll try to spell that later. Or if somebody could type that into the comment section. It's Beryl, Chrysoberyl. Chrysoberyl? I don't know if I'm saying that right. I don't have this stone personally, but when I was looking up for stones, crystals, prospecting stones, it actually comes from Australia and Brazil. You can also find it in Canada and Norway. But the attributes of beryl or chrysoberyl is a stone of new beginnings. So I thought that was kind of cool because if you're looking for a new beginning, if you're looking to bring compassion and forgiveness and generosity and confidence in doing something scary every day, which is today's topic, this crystal will help you. You can get it polished or you can get it in the raw form. It is easily accessible. Some people actually call it the cat's eye. So if you know what is the cat's eye, it's a golden yellow with brown, green, and reds in it, and it reminds me of the movie that Stephen King did like years ago called Cat's Eye. But it's called a cat's eye stone, and again, it's it can be, the cat's eye can be expensive, but the stone itself is readily found. But again, its attributes are a stone of new beginnings. It brings compassion and forgiveness, generosity and confidence, and it's aligning with the solar plexus, which the solar plexus is right in your belly button area, trust in your gut, and then also aligns to your crown chakra, which is up here, which opens you up to something bigger than yourself. So that is the stone. Again, it's Chrysoberyl. However you want to pronounce that. I'm horrible at pronunciations, but it looks like Chrysoberyl. Chrysoberyl. I don't know. Check it out. That's the stone of the week. The number for this week is 16, or the number 7, which is a rebirth. So the rebirth card is coming up. So again, this is a good time to have a rebirth on your journey and where you're going. And pay attention to the 16 in numerology, or the number 7 as a reminder. 16 is 6 plus 1 equals 7, so 7 is a very spiritual number. So pay attention to that this week, because that is all about rebirth. And sometimes we have to have a rebirth every single day in order to feel alive. So speaking of the cat's eye, that was the prospecting stone that I was talking about. The totem animal spirit for this week, I like to remind people that the spirit world, the unseen world, is always interacting with us. The metaphysical world is always interacting with us. So your animal spirit guide this week is the cat. I was talking about the cat's eye, and I thought, why not just pay attention to the cat? So when the cat shows up, or if you have a cat, I have a cat. Cats are very, very intelligent, very interesting creatures. One of the only animals not ever mentioned in the Bible because they carried such a negative, evil context back then, but not today, because cats are awesome. So for those of you that have cats, some of you don't like cats, but I love my cat. My cat kind of helps me out and keeps me protected. But if the cat is around, it's just telling you that this is a period of self-sufficiency, and it's also to trust your capabilities and honor your sensuality of dancing slowly with graceful and easy movements, just like a cat does. Kind of slow down, take it easy, just kind of get through, especially as we move into Mercury Retrograde. This is going to be a time, we move into Mercury Retrograde here shortly, and we're also on the first day of spring starting tomorrow at 12:15 p.m. I think that's Pacific Standard Time. And then we're also going to be moving into the Equinox, where the days are going to be exactly equal, and the sun will move from east to west throughout the whole planet. Everybody will see the sun. So if you were standing on the equator, the sun would pass right over the top of you. The sun will rise in the east and will set in the west. And so tomorrow is a great day of shifting, is what I'm getting at. Shifting your energy, shifting your focus, shifting your life. So if you see the cat, and the cat is all around you. That's also just a just a reminder to be self-sufficient, trust your capabilities. Also, this is a period of magic and mystery for you, so pay close attention to the signs and omens that will guide and direct you, whatever your belief systems are. And if the cat is all around you, that's just the cat is just also the reminder. And listen closely to your intuitive guidance, especially if it's those in the spirit world. They can get our attention in many different ways, signs, symbols, and synchronistic events. So that is the Totem Animal Spirit Guide for this week. Again, do something that scares you every day, helps you with your comfort zones, helps you to move your comfort zones. And just a reminder that we move into Mercury Retrograde starting March 23rd, so in a few days. Today's the 19th, right? Yeah, today's the 19th. Tomorrow's the first day of spring, and then we'll have, with the first day of spring, which I love, is, again, the sun rises in the east and sets in the west for everybody. It follows the same track no matter where you're at on the planet, and it just creates, longer days. So happy spring to you. Pay attention to that. And then for Mercury Retrograde, when Mercury is in retrograde, this is a reminder for things can be a little bit backwards when it comes to communication, when it comes to travel, when it comes to technology. Working in technology, when we're in Mercury retrograde, I see it all the time. I have all sorts of issues with technology because I don't do this work full time. I actually have a daytime, part-time job that I do, and I've noticed when we're in Mercury retrograde that people are just less patient. The communications aren't as great. So pay attention to any contracts that you're thinking about signing. Pay attention to any projects that you're working on. And the Mercury moving into retrograde will go till April 15th. So if you have any big contracts to sign, do it after April 15th. Just for the fact that the communications will be better, and you'll just notice that during this period people will make reference, it's Mercury retrograde. And this is coming from the Farmer's Almanac. This isn't from Marc's Metaphysical Mocha Mondays. This is coming from the Farmer's Almanac that's been around since it's been founded. It was founded in 1792, so there's a little history to the Farmer's Almanac. I pay close attention to it because again, the external stimuli, the external environments that's going on around you can really impact you as a person, your thoughts, your vibration, your way of thinking. So when you have knowledge of what's going on, and you know that we're in the equinox, we're in the spring, and we're in the Mercury retrograde, you have a better awareness. And awareness is the greatest agent for change, as Eckhart Tolle talks about. So pay attention to those changes. Pay attention to Mercury moving into retrograde. And again, some people, can get a little bit angry, a little bit impatient, miscommunication. So have some patience and watch your travel plans. Have backup plans for things that you're doing. Pay attention to your automobiles as well. It's always a good time to have backup plans, especially if you're traveling with airlines and computer systems. So Mercury retrograde coming up. Again, that starts March 23rd. It's going to stay through a couple weeks into April 15th. And again, moving into the equinox starting tomorrow. And I believe it's at 12:15. I'm looking here on the dates here. Pacific Standard Time? It doesn't say. It just says 12:15 p.m. So I'm not sure if that is Pacific Standard Time or Eastern Standard Time. But if you can remember at your time, 12:15. We'll probably go Eastern Standard Time, I'd imagine. The sun should be right at the top. Tuesday, March 20th is when the equinox and spring arrives. So enjoy that. Have a good time with that. I'm going to switch over to the Intuitive Prospector page. The link is down below. Again, if you want to subscribe to my YouTube library, head over to YouTube and look for Marc Lanehart or the Intuitive Prospector. I'll put a link down below. And if you want to join me right now over on the Intuitive Prospector page for the direct Q&A with me, love to have you join me, answer any questions, have a spiritual chat, spiritual conversation. We have a lot of fun. So I hope that you'll join me, and just a reminder to do something that scares you every day, because when you do that, you move your comfort zones and you push out your boundaries, and you find magic in the moment, and life is just a much more richer, a little bit more interesting. And I just want to thank you for your time today. So have a great rest of your day until our next soul adventure. Please be kind, be caring, be compassionate, and I will see you next Monday at 8 a.m. Pacific, 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time here on the Om Times Institute for Metaphysical Mocha Mondays. Have a great week, everybody. Namaste.